Okay, make sure you can send that out later. Um, I always joke that every time I open up Rumi, it seems to go exactly to something that I need to hear. And apparently Brene Brown's become my new Rumi, because I opened up Braving the Wilderness just seeing if I could like flick through and find something that was relevant. And immediately did. First page. And she said something I think is very relevant right now for us dealing with the world. And she said this: sometimes I'll admit I don't give a damn. There were periods during my research process where I felt like screaming, "You keep your true belonging and I'll keep my hate." My daughter got a book on going to college, and the first 3 chapters were essentially lessons in how not to get sexually assaulted. Do I really care about the pain that drives the junk, violent assholes who make college campuses so dangerous that female students need a book on how to avoid those people? No. Screw you and screw the pain of people who are causing pain. I will hold on to my sweet self-righteous rage. But to what end? Not caring about our own pain and the pain of others is not working. How much longer are we willing to keep pulling drowning people out of the river one by one rather than walking to the headwaters of the river and find the source of the pain? What will it take for us to let go of that earned self-righteousness and travel together to cradle the pain that is throwing all of us in at such a rate that we couldn't possibly save everyone? Pain will subside only when we acknowledge it and care for it. Addressing it with love and compassion would take only a minuscule percentage of the energy it takes to fight it. But approaching pain head on is terrifying. Most of us were not taught how to recognize pain, name it, and be with it. But what we now know is that when we deny our emotion, it owns us. When we own our emotion, we can rebuild and find our way through the pain. And this really speaks of attachment. It speaks of so many things, of course, in our yamas and niyamas, these things that we wish to consider, but this attachment that we get, it can be so easy to be like, oh, you hurt me and I'm going to hold on to this and I'm going to have this experience of anger and rage and frustration that, you know, somebody said something that I don't agree with, they cut me off in traffic, they didn't call me back when I thought that they would. And you can get caught in this like super just like, well, you said you'd call me back and you didn't call me back. It's very clear, cut and dry. I've been wronged and I'm going to be upset about it. And that only hurts us. We're able to say, well, what is this feeling? What is this experience? And how can I move on from here? That's when we open ourselves up. We're going to do a little bit of heart opening today, and it's going to actually start to come from the back. So that's why I wanted to say, grab the strap. Once you are in a comfortable seat, we will begin as usual with our face brushing. Take your index finger and thumb together, bring it to the squishy spot, and start at the center of your forehead, brushing outwards towards your temples. And from the sides of your nose out to your temples, along your cheekbones. From the temples down to your chin, along your jawline. And from the sides of your nose down to your chin on your laugh lines. And then taking your fingertips underneath and behind your ears, massaging the soft spot back there. And lifting up from that point. Keep lifting up from those bony nubs. If it feels comfortable, close your eyes. And give your head permission to float up a little bit higher on your spine. And starting to feel yourself get a little bit longer, a little bit taller. Take another big breath in and big breath out. Resting your hands down in your lap. Feel the breath move in your torso. Notice where it moves. Notice how the breath affects the body around your heart, your chest space, your shoulders, the upper back. And taking a deep breath in through the nose, big sigh through the mouth. Again, like that. For 3 ohms. Starting to take yourself down onto your back. Make sure that you have your scarf or your strap handy. But we'll start off without it. Just laying flat down. When you get there, bringing your knees into your chest and making some circles of your legs around to massage the low back and loosen up the hips, and then going in the other direction after you've made a few of those rounds. See about moving the legs in opposite circles, so feeling them come apart and then back together again. And then moving the circles in the opposite direction. And then releasing the feet down onto the floor. You're going to take your left leg and cross it over your right leg all the way so you've got the thighs crossed. And then let your knees go over to the right just until your left foot comes down to the ground. So not a really big twist to start off with, but put your right hand on your left thigh. Go ahead and massage the flesh away from the hip socket so you're opening up the outside of the hip in this space. If you'd like to open the left arm out to the side to stretch open through the chest a bit more, you might do that. Take 2 more breaths, letting the belly get a little bit softer. Big breath in. Big breath out. And then start to unwind the twist and unwind your legs, coming back to the middle, feet on the floor, shifting the hips to find center again. And then crossing your right thigh all the way over the left thigh. Let the legs go over to the left just in case, until you catch with the foot. And then the left hand comes outside of the thigh, just moving the flesh away from the outside of your bum. And taking the left arm or right arm open if that feels good to you to open the chest there. Really letting that waist soften. Relaxing into the twist. 2 more breaths. Finish your exhale. And start to unwind the legs and unwind your twist. Coming back to the center. Grabbing your strap and looping the strap around the bottom of your right foot closer to the heel. And then wrapping the ends of the strap around your fingers and working on making that leg as straight as possible. Not only extending the back of the knee joint, but also pushing your foot out into the strap and the hip down towards the floor, because sometimes it has a tendency to lift so that we can bring the leg closer to us. I think instead of dropping the hip down, pushing the foot away, and from that point, opening up the back of the knee joint. Take 3 more breaths. Big breath in. Big breath out. And then you're going to bend the knee. So bring a little bit more softness in it. Take your hands onto your leg wherever they happen to be. So you'll maybe bend it a lot and hold in by your thigh. Just find a comfortable way that you can not let go of your strap, but be more so holding a soft right leg. And then take your left leg and extend it out, pushing out through the left foot. Maybe the leg gets straight. It doesn't have to get straight. You can stop here and then kind of push out through that foot a little bit, or the leg can get really straight. You want to relax the right leg as much as possible. 1 more breath in. 1 more breath out. And then relax your left leg so that you can come back to the right leg. We're going to take both ends of the strap around your right hand, so then your left hand is free and you can put it on your left hip. It'll be much softer on the body to stay here with a bent left leg, or if you'd like to intensify that more, you'll start to extend a straighter left leg. Trying to keep the left hip down as you turn the right knee and toe out and move the right knee and toe, the whole leg really out towards the right, and not a lot. You'll notice I'm nowhere near the ground. Let your left ribs roll towards the mat. Let your belly roll over towards the left. Take 1 more breath in. 1 more breath out. And then draw the leg back up. And go out to the side 1 more time. So it's not very far, maybe 45 degrees, if that. Rolling the belly to the left. So you're feeling those obliques engaged. Last exhale. And then draw the leg back up. Go ahead and bend the left leg. Release the strap, bend the right leg. Set the soles of the feet down towards each other. And then extend your left leg up, bringing the strap around the bottom of the heel part of the foot, so not at the toes, more lower down the leg, and then taking the strap and wrapping them around your fingers and pushing the left hip down and forward, pushing the left foot out and forward, trying to get that leg straight. Don't worry about how close it is to you. Trying to move a steady flow of breath. Big breath in. Big breath out. 1 more breath in. Push the foot into the strap as you exhale. And then start to relax, bending that left leg. You just keep hold of the strap, but use your hands to hold on to the leg any way that's comfortable to you. So probably a bit more of a bend. And then start to extend your right leg out, keeping it kind of bent or extending it all the way towards straight. And as we soften the left leg, we're giving them that energy out into the sole of the right foot, feeling that leg extend away from the torso, building up a little bit of heat in the front of that right hip. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. 1 more big breath in. Exhale, feel that foot push outwards on the right side. And relax your right leg. Go ahead and draw it in a little bit. We'll take our attention back to the left side, taking both ends of the strap around the left hand, the right hand to the right hip. And then turn that leg out to the left. Only let it go out as far as you can keep that right hip down on the ground. Maybe you extend the right leg out. And there's a turning of the belly over towards the right ribs downwards to try to keep that torso stable. Last exhale. And then taking the leg back up, a little break. We'll do it one more time just to make sure we've really got that space fired up. Open the left leg out to the left. The belly and the ribs roll over gently towards the right. Last exhale. And then come back to the center. Go ahead and bend both legs. Take the strap off of your foot. Set it off to your side for a moment. And then bring your legs in and start rocking head to tail, massaging the spine until you come all the way up to seated. And when you get to seated, try to extend your legs out as much as possible. If you need to bend the knees a little bit to give yourself that extra boost to lifting up to standing, you can, but notice my feet are still engaged, even if the knees are bent. But absolutely fine, whichever one you choose. We're gonna take the strap now and hold it out in front of us, a little about shoulder width apart. Turn the palms to face each other, pull the strap apart, and then feel that space behind your ears lift up so your spine gets taller. You're pulling the strap to get a little tension in the front of the arms, and then drawing your low ribs back to your spine and up. So everything is lifting through this midsection. Stay there 2 more breaths. Big breath in. Big breath out. Relax your legs and your arms for a moment. We're going to do that again. I'm going to offer for you to lift the strap up. If that becomes too much, just bring your strap back down in line with your shoulders. We'll start with the strap in line with the shoulders. Make sure your feet are active, your legs are long, the spine is long. Pull that strap apart. And then we feel the low ribs drawing in, so we have a little bit more core connection. Trying to keep that core connection as you start to reach the arms up. And I just realized I'm wearing a terrible shirt for this, because you can't tell that my ribs are flaring out, but I promise that they're not. Take 1 more breath in. And then exhale, soften, relax your legs, relax your torso. Okay, we'll do 1 more time. We're gonna add another shape to this. On the 3rd movement of the arms, you're just going to expand your grip on the strap. So let your hands slide out. You can decide how far you want to slide it out. I slide it out a good distance, probably almost doubling the space in between my hands. So let's start here with active legs, long spine, belly drawn in, ribs down, pulling that strap apart. Stay here for a breath in and for a breath out. And then lifting the strap up, lifting your whole spine up, keeping the legs active, lifting the backs of the ears, pulling the strap apart. Take a breath in and a breath out. And then open the strap up and take it behind your head. We're still lifting up long through the spine here. Still have to pull that strap out and away. Take 1 more inhale. Exhale. And then relax your shoulders. Take the strap down, relax your arms. And then take your strap off to your side. We're going to scooch down onto our forearms, taking a fish pose here to stretch the chest. You can have long legs if you want to have long legs, or you could have bent knees. Push down in your forearms, feel the heart puff upwards. Maybe the head looks up or back. Big breath in. Big breath out. And then softening the heart, coming back onto your hands. We'll come into table pose just for a brief visit of some movement in the spine. And you could even be on fingertips if that seems like a better choice for you. As you inhale, drop the belly, look up. As you exhale, round the spine, tuck your tail, and start moving through this flow of cow pose and cat pose. See if you can fully release your neck, especially in cat pose where you're fully rounding in. Take 3 more on your own. When you finish that next exhale, you'll come back towards a more neutral spine. And then widen your knees, walk them back a little bit, toes towards each other, coming into child's pose or puppy dog pose, or you can just lay flat on your belly if that seems like a better space for your knees and your hips today. From child's pose, from puppy pose, or from laying on your belly, rest your head down somewhere that's comfortable to you. If you're laying on your belly, just wiggle your legs back a little bit further for some more length in your spine. If you're in puppy or child's pose, wiggle your fingertips forward for more length in the spine. And you can keep a little bit of a wiggle happening every so often, but see if you can relax once more through your head, keeping the breath moving. Big breath in. Big breath out. And then start walking your hands back in towards your legs. We're all going to come to a standing fold, just bringing your feet up, your hips up, bend the knees, relax your head down, maybe shake your head yes and no. And take your time coming up to standing, maybe walking the hands up the legs until you find yourself standing on your mat. We'll take the left leg and cross it behind your right leg, trying to bring your feet pretty close together. If this is troublesome for your balance, you can have a little bit of space in between the feet, and you can even bend the knees. And if you can, try to bring these feet pretty close together. Try to stand on both of the feet. You might have to bend one or both knees. You want to try to keep the balance even. From here, take the arms up, hold on to your left wrist, and reach the left wrist over as you soften your ribs down and push gently out through that left hip. Maybe that requires that you push down a little bit more in that back foot because you lost the weight in the back foot. Finish your exhale, and then come back to the center. Relax your arms down and switch sides. So you'll take now your right leg back behind your left leg, trying to bring them as close together as works for your body today. And then reaching up and holding onto your right wrist as you extend outwards, softening the ribs down. So there's a little bit of a softening of the heart inwards, giving yourself some grace to open up that side body. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And then lifting up, releasing your arms down, unwinding your legs, and coming into warrior one. Take your right foot forward and your left foot back, making sure that your toes are up, the knee faces forward. Take your hands to your hips. Just give your hips the chance to open up at the front there. And then reach your arms up. Interlace your fingers, make steeple fingers or Charlie's Angels hands, and lift upwards through your chest. Feel those hips going forward. You don't need to take the arms back. It doesn't need to become a back bend. Can it become a spine opening and a heart lifting? Big breath in. Big breath out. And then release, bringing the hands down to your hips. Straighten your front leg. Draw the elbows back and lean the heart forward. Spreading out your toes, pushing your right hip back, reaching your ears out of your shoulders. Breathing in, breathing out. Draw your belly in. And then see if you can bend into the front knee and take one step to bring the feet towards each other. And then taking the other foot back, finding that warrior one shape, reaching the arms up. When you interlace your fingers, switch the interlacing of your fingers so it feels just a little bit odd. lifting up through the fronts of the hips, and then getting longer through the spine. So taking that same upwards extension that we took when we were in that staff pose with the strap earlier, trying to reach apart and away, finding a long spine. One more big breath in. Exhale, release the hands down to your hips, straighten the front leg. Feel the whole arm bone move back, making lots of space in the chest as you lean forward over that front thigh to stretch the hamstring, the back of the hip. Strong opening in the chest. Exhaling, and then lifting yourself up. See if you can bend into the knee and step forward 1 time or 10 times until you get up to having both feet up and together. And then with your feet right underneath your hips, actually take them wider. So we'll go really wide legs. Toes face forward, really, really wide across the feet. Take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, bring the hands over towards the left side of your waist, and let your hips kind of bump over towards the left. And let your hips kind of bump over towards the right. A little bit more shoulder stretch on that right side. Oh wait, that's your left. Bump your hips to the left where your hands are, and you might feel more stretch in the front of your right shoulder. And then come back to the center. Move your hands over to the other side. So bump your hips away from your hands. And then bump your hips over towards your hands. Finish your exhale. And then bring the hips back to the center. Unwind your arms. We're going to come into warrior 2, facing over towards the right. Turn your toes all the way over on the right foot, in a little bit on the left foot, and find warrior 2. And in warrior 2, the rib cage is open in the same, roughly the same direction as the hips. In peaceful warrior, there's a little bit of the turn of the heart forward, and then lifting up towards those fingertips, finding a really long spine. So it's the heart floating up, just like in fish pose. Take a big breath in. And return to warrior 2. We'll just go 2 more times, flowing it. Inhale, take that little turn and lift, peaceful warrior. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, little turn and lift, peaceful warrior. Exhale, warrior 2. And straighten the legs and start to turn the toes over towards the left. Finding warrior 2 on the other side, you might switch feet depending on your space and you're facing. And when you find that bent left knee, it goes in the same direction as the toes. The back toes are up slightly and the ribs are mostly open, just like the arms and shoulders are open. Changing slightly as you turn the heart towards the left hand as you lift it up into peaceful warrior, not going back, but rather extending out and forward. Take one more inhale, and then feeling those changes, the rotation of the ribs coming into warrior 2. Inhaling, peaceful warrior. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, warrior 2. And then straighten the legs and turn the toes in, and turn the heels in, and the toes in, and the heels in, and the toes, and the heels, and the toes, and eventually coming in to being where we are. I'm going to take a half moon as one of our standing balances today. We'll do 2. Our first one here in half moon, just think of kind of floating up in space. I have my bed. If you have a couch, a chair, a bookshelf, a wall space, anything that you have out in front of you, especially if it's higher like this, don't think of coming down into the shape. We're going to kind of get up and float a little bit more in space. And it doesn't even have to be a long hold. You don't have to float as long as you might if you were down a little bit more holding a block. So if you've got your front toes, we'll call your right toes are out. So I'm mirroring you. So your right toes face directly towards whatever you might be holding on to. Your arms open out from your shoulders with strong open chest muscles. And your left toes are going to face in the same direction as your heart. So your right toes face over towards your right hand. Your left toes face towards your heart. And as you lift and up and on top, you might come into warrior or to half moon that only goes up and over a little bit, and then you come up. You might try again, just trying to get the body open, make sure you're active through those toes. You might lean over, trying to keep the leg and the spine on the same line. Yeah, awesome open chest. I can see a couple people, their open chest. Yeah, Melinda and Susan, I can see it. That's awesome. And then if you haven't already, just go ahead and come down. And I see a lot of it. I can't see everybody just because our special devices are not always set. So switch to the other side. So you have your other toes are going towards the same hand, toes towards hand. And then the other toes, your right toes maybe are in the same direction as open as your heart is. And come up on top of this leg. And you're going to reach up and over. And you don't need to go far. Keep the chest open. Make sure you aren't letting that leg fall behind you. I think it's easier when we stay higher not to try to let that leg go behind. And you might go further, you might not. You don't have to. You know, open that top shoulder and then come on back up. Set your feet down. Wiggle things out a little bit. Keep the feet a little bit wider than your hips. Just going to bend into the knees. Put the elbows on them. A little bit of a squat just to relax the back. If it feels good, you can relax your head. If that feels strange, just look out at the floor in front of you. Big breath in. Big breath out. Start to bring your hands up, coming back up to standing. We're going to take tree pose, and I'm going to show it from the side. You'll take, say you're standing on your right foot and put your left foot on the inside of your leg. And you might want to keep your toes on the ground. If you have anything you can put your toes on, like a block or something that you use as a block, you can take your leg up higher. But once you're here, you'll still open the thigh and lift your hips, and then take your arms up in a way that's comfortable to you. And that might be here instead of all the way up here. And then we're going to lengthen through the spine. And our balance challenge today is going to be to let both the heart and the gaze float up and open. So I'm not leaning back. I'm letting my chest lift up. Oh my gosh, this is hard. Breathing in. And then relaxing the arms down, setting the foot down. Wiggle and shake out your hips. And then find the other side. So take the other foot up. And reach the arms up. You still want to feel the front of the hip lifting up here. And then you're going to let your spine lengthen, the heart open, maybe the gaze goes up. And it's not going back. I'm not bending my lower back. I'm lifting up and out of it. Take a big breath in. Exhale, relax your arms down, relax your foot down. Find 2 feet down. Bring your feet out a little bit wider than your hips. Take a big breath in, lift the arms up. Bend nice and luxuriously into your knees, come down. Maybe your belly and your thighs meet. Maybe you hold on to your shins. Maybe you rest your head down. Maybe your fingertips are at the ground or going towards the ground. Big breath in. Big breath out. And then bring your fingertips to your shins, come halfway up, roll the shoulders back, feel that lift in your chest, long spine. Exhale, folding down. Take your hands down. Spread your fingers out, move your feet back, find downward facing dog for a little bit. And then coming down onto your knees. Take your right hand and turn it over. Very little weight, if any weight is applied on that hand. And then turn the right hand back how it goes. And then turn your left hand over. Back to the left hand. Take your right hand, shake your fingers out. And set it down, spreading the fingers out. Take your left hand up, shake your fingers out. And spread the fingers out. Push the hand down. Your hands are about a doorway's distance apart. Push down from the backs of your shoulders. Go back into downward facing dog. And think of that open, long spine. So all of those same lifting muscles we've been using, but now they're lifting the hips up and back. Kind of lifting the rib cage out towards the floor, extending and moving the rib cage out towards the floor to lift those hips up. Take a breath in. Relax your neck as you breathe out. And then lower your knees down. Walk your knees back a little bit, and as slowly as you want to, which could be not slowly, lower all the way down onto your belly. When you get there, wiggle your legs back more. Make a pillow for your head with your hands. Rest your forehead or a cheek. And then take your right hand with the palm facing down. Reach the right hand out from your right shoulder. Take the left hand in by your left shoulder. Look over towards the left and roll the left leg back so you stretch the front of the right shoulder. You can relax your left leg or reach out through that left leg to get more active opening of that top hip. It's up to you which feels better. It's up to you which is more useful. Breathing in, breathing out. Rolling over onto your belly again. And then switching to the other side, taking the right hand in, extend the left hand out from your shoulder, palm facing down. Look to the right, lay your head on the ground, and take that leg back really close to the bookshelf. This is fine. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then rolling over onto your belly. Make a pillow for your head with your hands. You can separate your feet. Maybe you bend the knees and rock the hips and legs side to side. You can rock them around, keeping them down on the ground too. Reach your arms back. You can keep your legs a little bit more like hip width apart. Let your palms face up. Like little T-Rex fighter claws. You're going to curl your fingers. And you're going to use that kind of fighter energy, like you're willing to go to battle for a good locust pose. And then take it up into locust pose. Go ahead and claw it back there. Like you're reaching back and trying to grab onto your feet. See if you can engage your arm muscles to get those arms up a little bit higher. Looking forward, relax your jaw muscles, and then inhale, maybe you open up a little bit further, and exhale, lower it down. Rest one side of your head on the ground. Maybe a little hip wiggle. And this time, let your palms be open towards the ceiling, wide and expansive hands, and lift up once more into that locust pose, Shalabhasana. And feel the chest expand, not just lift, but expand. Work those arms away from your heart. Big inhale. Exhale, lowering down. Rest maybe the other side of your head. Give a little wiggle of your hips side to side. And then bring your hands in underneath your shoulders. Take your great care of bringing yourself up. And then having a seat with both of your knees over towards your right side, both of your feet over towards your left side. We're a little imbalanced in the hips. You don't need to create a bigger imbalance in the hips, but it's fine that you're not completely balanced at this point. Now take your left arm and reach it behind your back. Maybe you put your, this is your right side, take your right arm. Bring it behind your back. Maybe your hand holds the arm. Maybe you just reach that hand behind your back. Even put the other hand on it if that works better for you, or hold your arm. And then you're gonna look over the other shoulder. Sometimes gently and slowly moving the nose around a little bit will help with that. Getting some stretch on that side of the neck. Finish your breath out. And then lifting your head up. I'm gonna unwind your back arm. Take a little twist over your right leg. Don't go up into the twist. Stay here in your hips. Soften your belly. Soften your heart down. Give yourself the chance to take this turn inwards. Last exhale. And then starting to release your twist. So you can take your knees over towards the other side, switching the legs. So now we do have a little lift in this hip, allowing it, but not trying to fully extend further into it. We'll take your left hand behind your back, and you can either hold on to your right bicep, you can put your hand on it, find something to do with this left hand that you are going to have it tucked in without any pain. We're opening the front of the shoulder and the side of the neck by looking downwards towards the right side. Try not to let the shoulder follow you. I want to have that arm drawn down and back. Big breath in. Big breath out. And then releasing that arm, slowly taking yourself out. When you turn, twist inwards, don't spiral outwards. We'll take the hand to the thigh, soften the heart and the belly. We are rotating a little bit more gently. Big breath in. Big breath out. And unwinding that twist, coming back to the center. We're going to take the legs so that both feet are in and both knees are out, rocking a little bit side to side. Your feet can be much further away. Just hold on to your ankles, lift the spine, but don't throw it into a back bend. Just lift long through the spine. Keep feeling that space behind your ears lift. With attachment, there's also aversion. You have that like two sides of the coin thing. I don't know if you've seen the little cartoon image, the gif of the dog that's sitting in a house that's on fire, and the dog's like, this is fine, and just like takes its coffee and like, this is fine. And I feel like I've been that dog for a couple of months now. And it's not helpful to just pretend that there isn't pain. You can't grab onto the pain and take ownership of it and stick with the pain. We can't pretend that the pain is not there. We acknowledge, we find the pain, we breathe through the pain. We consider, where do we go from here? What do I do with this now? Take a breath in. Take a breath out. And relax the grip on your legs. And go ahead and bring your legs a little closer together. We're going to come down onto our backs. Have handy whatever you're going to want around you for Shavasana. If you want to take your Shavasana with your legs up on your couch, bed, coffee table, whatever might be around, that can sometimes be really nice, or legs up against the wall. Let's just start off with, we're going to come down, knees into the chest, taking a little rock around, massaging the back onto the floor. Making sure you massage in both directions if you've been making any circular patterns. And then crossing one ankle over the other, reaching outsides of your legs to hold onto those ankles or shins or knees, wherever you're able to grab onto with relative ease. Letting your hips release towards the floor rather than trying to tuck yourself into a little ball. Taking a breath in, letting the breath out, and switching the cross of your ankles so that you've got them wrapped up the other way. Once again, taking hold somewhere that makes sense to you. Starting to soften into this space, relaxing your breath. Big breath in. Big breath out. And as you release the cross of your ankles, just setting the soles of the feet down. Take both knees and roll them over towards the right, and then take the left leg up as far as is comfortable to you. So you might have the left foot resting on the right knee. You can hold on with your right leg, and then take your left hand to the center of your ribs, and just gently open the ribs to see if you can twist a little bit deeper, letting the ribs fall inwards, the belly fall inwards. Really letting this twist be in the lower body. Taking your next breath out. And then sliding that left leg back, bringing yourself back to the center. And then letting both knees roll over to the right, sliding your right leg up higher. Maybe you use your left hand to guide the twist. And then placing your right hand in the center of your lower ribs. Maybe guiding with that hand to feel a deeper twist, even if it doesn't actually move you into a much deeper twist. Last exhale. And then relaxing the hands, bringing the legs back to center, widening the feet, let the knees knock against each other. Place your hands on your body somewhere that makes sense to you, and take a couple of deep breaths. When you're ready to transition into Shavasana, you'll begin to make that change. Maybe resting your legs up on something or against the wall. Maybe you extend your legs up. Maybe you're already in a perfect place for you to rest with your knees bent and your body exactly like it is. Just allow your control of the breath to drift off. Allow your mind to wander. Maybe take a second to unknit the eyebrows or any other muscles or places where you might be holding tension. Start to come back to your body. Bringing in some deeper breath. And when you're ready, bending into the knees and rolling yourself over towards one side. Turning inwards in nourishment and gratitude for coming to your practice today. When you're ready, finding your own version of a comfortable seat, taking your time to get there.
Oh, yeah.
It's important to be aware of the stories that we tell. We tell ourselves the story, I am hurt, I am angry, I am sad. We're just living that story all the much longer. It's going to be true. If we acknowledge it and move on, that's different. That's the work, but it's different. And if we tell the story that they are wrong or foolish or bad, then that story can come true too. Or can continue to come true. And seal our practice with one Om. Deep breath in. Bowing down to the love and light that resides within each of our hearts, within all hearts. Namaste. Hey everyone.
Thank you.
So long.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, April.
Thanks, April.
Bye-bye.
Wonderful weeks. Be safe, be healthy, get better.
Thanks for your
Tanya.
those were good.
Good.
It's just, come on. Well, see if you can get up there. Well, say goodbye. Ah!